Hey everybody, we have sunshine. You can't see it, but it's shining into my room and it's freezing cold, hence I've got the cardigan on. I think me made May has been jumpers, tops. It's not going to be the dresses unless that weather changes, because it's absolutely flipping freezing. My granddaughter, who lives in the very south of the UK, rang me on her way home from school today, and she was chatting to me because she doesn't like walking home on her own, and she'd left her friends and she's got a good 1.5 miles to walk, so she rings me and talks to me all the way along, and all of a sudden she said, "Grandma, it's snowing." So May, and you have snow. I think she said it was hailstones, to be honest. I don't think it stayed there, but anyway, I told you in my last vlog that I had bought a sewing machine. A second-hand one. It's not an expensive one. Well, it is expensive, but it's not as expensive as it would have been if I could afford the one that I wanted. Do you get that? Anyway, I was telling you, and I shall put a link up here because it's in the last part of this previous vlog, so there you go, that one there. And basically I wanted to get a heavy-duty machine. The one I really fancied is one of these table machines, a juki, that can do leather work and do other things, because I quite fancy getting into doing purses and bags as well. But I thought, to be honest, you ain't seen my little room. I have got another one in there, but I've got a great big massive laser machine that belongs to His Lordship's business, and when that goes, yes, I'll be able to put one in there. But I thought I might try something else, because I love a juki. I'd love a juki, but it is big. So anyway, the storyline was that I was seeing these ones that were really classy machines going cheap. Then they pulled them off, whoever it was selling them, they were in the auction, pulled them off the internet, off the eBay site. And I saw this Bernina, but nobody was buying it, nobody was bidding it, nobody was going for it. Put a watch on it to see what happened. And she wanted £295 for it, I think, or £250, sorry, plus carriage, and it didn't go. So then I sent her a sneaky email saying, would you take 200 for it? And she said yes, or he or she. Don't know if it was a he or a she, but they said yes. And I got it. And it is a heavy duty one, so I reckon I can do leather work on it. It's old, it's very old, and it's a Bernina. Now, I'd love a real Bernina. Well, it is a real Bernina, but I'd love a real modern Bernina. But the prices are way out of my league, so I've got this one, and let me tell you all about it. Well, I've received a parcel. This is an eBay purchase of something I'm looking forward to opening. I'll let you see. Well, as I open it, it smells very foisty, as if it's been in a cupboard lying untouched. So I'm keen to see what it's like when I get it out. It is a ton weight, and wait till you see what's inside. Well, this is my new second-hand machine. It's called the Bernina Record, and it is Bernina Record 530. When I looked at it online, some of them have a slightly different setup here. So I've been painting the shed. Some of them have a slightly different setup on this knob. So I'm guessing that this is the first ones that came out and not the latest ones. I've already got this little hook sucker here for to hang things on, and I've also got here two favourite handy things. Little magnetic, what do you call it? Seam plate, magnetic something or other for to get your seams, and it's quite good because you can run it right up close to there. It's really magnetic there, really magnetic, and it can run up right close to the foot, and so I can get very good edges there if I want very narrow edges. Also, I like to have it on the side there, and I have a metal. I got these from Singer. They were having a sale on, and I bought 3 lots, and I bought 3 lots, and I want them on, I have them on each machine, and this one can just go on there like that. There you go, just on there. It just attaches to the magnet, or I could hang it on there if I wanted to, but I prefer to hang it on the side, because what I do is I have it like that, grab it, snip. And I have actually found that of all the cutters that I have, this new, I bought 3 pairs, I've said 3 new ones, I have found those to be the best. I've kept scissors by my machine, I've kept these, I've kept the Chinese ones, and I've also kept another one. I'll show you the ones, all the snippers that I've had. These are all the snippers that I've got, that I've bought. I like this one beside my serger. That's a Japanese pair. I'm not sure I like that. It doesn't have as good a grip as that yellow one does. I like the grip on that one, and I prefer that. Not keen on those, and I can't come to terms with this because you've got to put your finger in, and when you're wanting to cut quickly, I don't have time to put my finger in. So my favourite one is that one. You will have your own favourite of all of these. If you do use these, let me know down below, because although I don't always acknowledge every single comment that you make, I do read them, and other people like to read and find out what you use for snipping. Which snips are your favourites? So yes, this is my favourite here, and that can go on the side there. Now then, let's have a look at this Bernina. Well, it came in a very generous case, a very nice case, and it was rather smelly when I opened it up. There was actually some oil on the bottom there, and I think you can see it's got a bit of oil here. Sorry, got a little bit of remnants of oil there. I think when it was being sent in the post, I think some of the oil may have come out, may have spilled out the machine. Not a lot, but enough to just, I think it was, I can't remember who, DHL, it was one of the couriers delivered it, and it was a bit smelly. It still remains a bit smelly, but it has gone outside. I'm leaving it out in the fresh air to try and get some nice smell back, to get rid of the foistiness. So it's gone out. It's going to go outside because it was rather foisty, smelling of oil. I believe it was more that it was smelling of oil, because when I came back and started using the machine, I was thinking, oh golly, it smells like my dad's garage when he was changing the engine. So I think they did say it had been serviced. Now I think the company who sold it to me are a leather company, so they've obviously been using it for sewing leather, and they said it had been serviced. I would imagine they've got an engineer who services stuff there, or someone who is knowledgeable to do it, so they've probably given it a bit of oil or whatever, but it is running smoothly. So let's see what it's like. And this is sitting on top of a wooden box, and the wooden box was my neighbour across the road. Her husband was selling this on eBay, and she invited me into her garden to show me some plants that she had in her garden, and the box was on a garden seat. It's a big one, it's really big, it's hinged, it's lovely. It lifts up. A nice big box with a hinge, and this top bit veneer needs a little bit of fixing, but that's not a problem. So she said, you can see I'm airing that outside as well. She said, she said her husband was selling it on eBay, and I said, oh, that's a lovely box. So she said, well, if it doesn't sell, do you want it? So I said, oh yeah, because we've been watching that program where people go to the tip and asked if they can take things off people and do them up and sell them. And I said, oh, you could make a lovely seat. Now I probably won't sell it. I was thinking a nice seat for the end of the bed with cushions on, painted up, lovely cushion on the top, and covered cushion. Maybe that'd be quite nice, because we have a little box at the end of the bed, like a box seat, and I sit on it, but this one is bigger. When you're putting your shoes on, as you get older, you like something bigger. So this will be turning into something in the summer, when the sun shines a lot more and we can get out and enjoy ourselves a bit more in the garden. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in for you. The one that I have, Bernina model 530, is from 1954 to 1963. So this little beauty, this lovely old lady, is almost as old as I am. I was born in 1950, so I reckon she's not far behind me when she was made. And they gave me an instruction book, which is very good. It's for the model 531, so it's the first one, because this new version seems to have this dial changed here. And it came with, they gave me a sheet with all the feet on it and all the embroidered feet and what you can do with it. I also got all the feet, which I've put into a little box actually, but I've got quite a few feet. I'm not sure if I've got a lot, but I've got quite a few. Let me see how many I've got. Right. These are all my feet that I've got. Quite a few. I like the system for fitting it on as well. It just clicks in place, and that is really good. Not like other ones where you've got to screw them in place. So I quite like that. Now I've taken up, because what I got was this little contraption that fitted on the back. I don't know if you can see this because it's a bit dark in here. And this is Bakelite. That fits on the back, and it's got 3 drawers that opened up like that. Now when I opened it, oh, springs back as well, I didn't notice that. When I took it out of the box, it was broken. There was a big crack there, which I've tried to flatten out, and it won't flatten out. I don't know if you can see there, but I've pressed it from the other side to try and flatten it, but it won't go in there. So I've put some super glue on there, and on one of the drawers, I think this is from the impact, because it's Bakelite, and Bakelite breaks very easily. There's a, I don't know if you can see there, that had broken off. So I've super glued that, and it's back in working order. And the feet were all inside there, so I took them out of there just while I was fixing it up. There was a lot of oil on here, so I think that when it was in transit from them, I think that it's basically it must have started leaking a bit of the oil from the machine. I'm assuming that that's for your pins, for your needles. Don't know what that is for. These are for all your threads, and I would imagine they are for your spools. Well, I've got my what to do with the spools? They gave me 3 spools. Oh yes, it is 3 for the spools. So I'll put that onto the back of my machine, and then I can use it. I've got it going. I love it. I actually love it probably more than my brother, which is one of these fully automatic things. You'll have to excuse the mess in front of me because I'm still organising. But that is my brother, which I love. I really love this machine. But I have to say that this little workhorse, a lot of you are saying they're great little workhorses. I love it. I've made a dress. I got this on the Thursday. I've since made a dress. It's now Saturday. I'm going to show you that dress that I've made later on in the next vlog. But this is really, really super. I like it. I like the fact it's got a table. Mine hasn't got a table. I could get one, but it hasn't got one. And I like the way you unclip this under here. You just pull the thing and this comes off. And I'm used to my shuttle is reloaded up the top. This one's reloaded at the bottom, but I'm used to that. Had those many years back, so that's not a problem. Bit fiddly putting that on, but once you've got it in place, it's really good. I have been sewing. The tension is great. Everything is I'm really happy with. Stitches are great, and I've learned how that you adjust it by here and by here, and that you turn this knob to make that stay in the right place. I've got on about 3.5 there. I can't remember why. I extended the stitches for something I was doing yesterday. But you might be able to tell me, how do you thread? I'm going to turn this round to let you see. Oh. if I bend that up there like that, and that like that, and that like that, that's easier. When I want to rethread my spool, I thought that it would go from there, or possibly from there, through that and through there, and then down to the spool on here. But when I do that, I haven't sussed out how you rethread your spool. I've tried to do it, and it kept, it wouldn't, this spins around, that's great, everything seems to work, but it was making the bobbin, if I tried it up here, it was making this bobbin jump out. If I tried it here, it just was making, for some reason, it was spinning too fast. And it says to loosen this wheel off. Now I can't loosen the wheel off there, so I'm assuming that this is the first version they made where you couldn't loosen the wheel, and because of that your machine goes up and down while you're rethreading your spool. Not a big issue, because when I had to rethread, I just did it across on this machine instead, which was not a problem. So I just wondered if any of you can advise me on what the best way is to restring. I've looked at the book, but the book doesn't, it's explaining it for the newer version of this. It's not explaining it for this one, because it's telling you to loosen that wheel off. There seems to be a different diagram here, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there. And of course His Lordship wasn't here when it arrived, and he said, he says, what's that box outside? So I said, oh, it's my machine, it's come. And I said, it's older than I thought it was, because I must admit, when I saw it, I thought, oh golly, I'm not sure if this is overly old. But having said that, it's what I had been wanting. And he said, are you sure you know, is it worth the £200? And I said, look, this is like, let's just say it's like having a Mercedes or a BMW car, only it's a vintage one and not a brand new one, and it goes equally as good. So I'm really pleased with it. I like the leg, the little arm that goes down, because when I was take this off because it doesn't look very flattering in the camera. When I was the last time I had a machine where you use your knee to do anything was when I was 30, and I was doing a course in fashion and design, and the industrial machines had those, and I thought they were really, really good. And that's kind of what I've been wanting. I was considering getting a juki, and I wanted a juki that could sew leather, but and I kept thinking, oh, they're about £1,000. Do I really want to spend that? If I was going to get one, I wanted a new one. Don't know whether I can afford it, don't know whether I want at my age, whether it's worth it. So of course this Bernina is giving me an idea on what I think of Berninas, and it's, you know, to be honest, I don't think I'll need anything else, because it's really sewing very, very well. Somebody was saying, I think it was Jenny, said she's had hers for years and has hardly ever had to give it an overhaul, so that suits me. And just behind me, that was my Bernina was a second-hand buy, and this is my second-hand buy. This is my Frister and Rossmann. Now I know that Frister and Rossmann are a good make, and I got this, apparently it was a lady whose mother died, and she was clearing out the house. This was about a year ago, less than a year ago, and she didn't know anything about this. Gave me it. I bought it for about, I think it was about £150–200. Absolutely love this one as well. You don't need brand new to enjoy sewing, I have to say. The one that I had before that was a little Toyota, which needs a good overhaul. Oh, I know. The start of lockdown, my little Toyota one gave up on me just before lockdown, and I was thinking, when lockdown happened, I was thinking, oh golly, I'll never get anybody to look at it. So then I went online to see if I could find any, and this was on eBay in the auction, and I won it. And she sent me absolutely tons of spools of thread to go with it. She said, I'll just give you everything that my mother had, you know, or her mother-in-law, I can't remember, but she said, it's love, you know, I don't know what it does, I don't know how you do it, but here you are. And I think I got a really good bargain here. in the same way as personally, I think I've got a good bargain in this Bernina. I was looking up the other day the prices of the Bernina Record 530, and they're about £350, anything between £295 to £350, and I paid £200 for this, so I'm very pleased. I think I've got a bargain. This is a very old top. It's my first Me Made May because it's May the 1st, and it's a for all we've got a little bit of sunshine, it is still freezing cold out there. Can't believe how cold it is at the moment for UK. Apparently we went up to the hills yesterday. Went to take we have a company who is an auction mart, and they wanted sashes for the bulls, so we got some sashes made, and they wanted them quickly, so he said, His Lordship said, do you want to drive? Do you want to have a drive up into the country, do you want to have a drive up into the hills? So I said, oh yes, I'd love to go. So we went up, and just as he was dropping the he stopped, parked, we were just driving up to the auction mart, and it started snowing. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's starting to snow. So anyway, off he went to take the sashes, and when he came back, it thankfully didn't stay long. But he decided he was going to take me to the garden centre up in the hills, and we'd go and have our lunch there. But you have to sit outside. Well, I almost didn't bring a coat. But just as we're walking out, he said, oh, I'll get my gilet. And I thought, well, if he's got a gilet, maybe I need a coat. So I went and got my coat. And we came out, got out the car at the garden centre. You could eat out. And we went in, ordered our meal, and sat down outside. And it was bitterly cold. But I wasn't going to tell him that. And he's sitting there going, it's cold. And I kept saying, do you want me to go and get the car and drive it up and we can park it here? And then we can sit in the car. And no. He didn't want to. So we sat outside. Still enjoyed it. It was absolutely wonderful. You know, absolutely. And when you've been locked down for so long and you can't go to these cafes, you can't do anything, it was absolutely wonderful having a meal. We had a panini, what was it, cranberry brie and bacon panini, and we followed it with a bit of cake. He had his chocolate cake and I had carrot cake. And then they had a special offer on where they had a 3-course meal for £10 that you could take away. So we got 2 3-course meals, a fish pie and chicken curry, I think it was, toffee, oh no, it wasn't a 3-course meal, it was 2-course, a fish pie and a chicken curry, that's 2 mains, and we got a sticky toffee pudding and apple crumble, and they gave you homemade ice cream to go with it. So we bought those, put them in the car, and off we went back home. So those are there. We put them straight in the freezer, so they will be meals for us to have next week. Now then, more fabric. I've been buying more fabric. I caught my eye on this. It's from Fabric Corner in Huddersfield. To be honest, I don't know why I bought it, because I am not going to make a dress for this. Although this is because of the Great British Sewing Bee. The very first episode, a lot of you will have watched it, buffet dress. Now, if you were like me, I didn't know what on earth a buffet dress is. And I was thinking, I've been sewing for 50 years, 60 years, 54 years. I've been sewing for 54 years and I've never heard of a buffet dress. So then I looked it up, and apparently over lockdown they have called this kind of dress a buffet dress because people have been putting on weight, me included, even though I've been doing exercise, and of course they want to hide the weight they've got, so that's what the buffet dress is. So of course, having seen what Raf did where he had dyed it a mustard colour, I happened to come across this fabric here, and I liked the way it was. I thought it was quite nice. It starts like that. Let's start at the top there, and the pattern goes up, crisscross, but it changes. You've got flowers, you've got holes, you've got, excuse that I've been painting a garden planter. And I should have tried to get that off, but I can't get it off. I'll get it off later. But it's got spirals, it's got stars, like circles. And I just thought that was rather nice. So I will be making that. Well, will I? I don't know. I will decide whether I'm going to make... Or I might make a white shirt. There was a lovely white shirt that I showed you once. It was a Vogue one where she had a high collar. Wondered if that would be worth going for. Now then, the reason why I got it was because it was cheap. You know me, I don't go for very expensive fabrics. There's no paperwork in here. Fabric Corner, Huddersfield. I'll put up there what the price was because I can't remember what it was. But I got 3 meters of it. And other places are selling that for about £12 a metre, so I thought that was a good buy. What else do I want to tell you? Well, oh yes, Patricia sent me another email. Patricia keeps sending me emails about her life, and it's lovely to hear her. I think it was her son had had a stroke, and apparently he's on the mend, so that's great to hear. Nothing worse when you hear that sort of thing. Oh, talking about strokes, this flipping vaccine, I'm very confident about it. And like they say, there's so few people have had this blood clot that the media's making such a big issue about it. Anyway, we went on Thursday to get our second vaccination, and first one went down very well. I took it well. His Lordship felt very lethargic. And Jenny had messaged me to say, I've just been for my second vaccination. I'm chuffed. I went straight in, straight out. All was good. And so then she said, when are you getting yours? And I said, we're getting ours on Wednesday. And so on the Wednesday, she messaged me to say, good luck. Hope everything goes well. And I think before that I'd said to her, well, how did you feel? And she said, I felt a bit tired. I had a headache and I felt a bit tired, but she said, I picked up quickly. So I told His Lordship, because I didn't have any after effects after the first one, but he did. And I said, you do realise that we are getting our injection on the Wednesday night and you are looking after your granddaughter on the Thursday. And I said, last time you had that, you were really quite lethargic and you couldn't go, you get up and go, you'd lost your get up and go. And he went, oh. So he then messaged his daughter and said, I might not be able to go. So we went in we had to drive up into the cowboy country. We call it cowboy country because it's quite a distance into the hills. And some areas are known for being a few cowboys there. Anyway, we drove up to cowboy country, went into the place where they did the vaccination, which apparently was one of the first ones in the country to do it. And we both got our vaccination, got back in the car, sat down, and they told us to go and sit in the car and wait 15 minutes. So I set my alarm on my phone, and as we're waiting, his daughter rang up. So he was telling her that he just had his vaccination, might not be able to come tomorrow, blah de blah. Anyway, we're driving along afterwards, the alarm went, and I said, right, we can go now. So we're driving along, and he's driving along, he says, does your arm hurt? And I said, no, mine doesn't. He says, mine does. I just burst out laughing and said, surely not. He says, it does. He says, it really hurts. So then he went to bed. Not straight away. When we got home, I kept saying, are you okay now? And he says, well, I'm not too bad. And, he says, I can tell but my arm hurts. And I'm going, well, mine doesn't hurt at all. And he said, so anyway, we went to bed, and just as we were going to bed, he said, my leg hurts. So I'm going, oh God, blood clot in the leg, goes up to the brain. So I said, rub it. And he said, why? And I said, well, if it's a clot, I said, rub it and it'll break the clot up. And had we not had this flipping carry on about the media, we wouldn't even have bothered worrying about it. So anyway, he went to bed and he woke up the next morning. I said, oh, well, you survived, we're all right. So then he went off, he felt better in the morning, went off to look after his granddaughter, set off at 10 o'clock, and by the time he came back at 7 o'clock at night, he walked through the door and he went, I am so tired. And I said, well, you were told that you might suffer. And he says, I didn't think I'd suffer like this. He says, I think it's because I've been carrying her on my shoulders, and every time I've seen him with his grandkids, I keep saying, do not put them on your shoulders. You're no young chicken. But he insists on putting them on his shoulders and carrying them, and doing things that she's 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old. She's 3-year-old. She can walk. So anyway, he wasn't too bad. He says his arm still hurts a bit, but I have had no problems at all. So we're both vaccinated. Another few days and we'll be able to go out and mix with the world. Although, to be honest, we've already done that. The COVID is, as they were saying on the news, there's not much COVID around here in the area, in the country now. There's only select areas that have got a little bit more COVID. So we're feeling quite happy about things. I feel... Not so much me. I mean, I used to be a smoker, so I should feel a bit more vulnerable than him out there because he never smoked. But I feel very confident that I'll be fine. That that it'll be fine. Anyway, what was I going to say? This is a. It's not a pattern. It's a jumper that I bought. Not this, but I bought a jumper from Asda, from one of the supermarkets, and I liked it. And I liked it so much that when it was getting holes in it, I thought, oh, I'll trace it off. So I traced it off, and this is one that I made 2 years ago. I don't wear it off very often because although I like green, and although I like army green, which that is, it's not showing very much like army green, but it's like a sage green. I think it's what Jackie says, you shouldn't have high collars, and I'm so tempted to cut that and make it into a V or do something with it, but then I think, can I be bothered? I might as well just get my wear out of it and then do another one. So this is one of the ones that I traced off. It's and what I like about it is that it's got a V panel in here, and that was the way it was. The panel is a V there, and that adds a bit of flair to the top, which I like. It's actually, the flare is at the side and not here, because I found that some of the tops that give you flare, they give you it on the belly, and I don't think it flatters them. Makes you look a bit more pregnant than you are. And I am pregnant because I've got a belly. But anyway, I forgot to say, the other thing I forgot to say about this Bernina is they have fitted a new cable on it. The only thing it doesn't have is an on-off switch, so I have to keep pushing the cable in. But boy, they've given me a cable that's really long, which is good because it can go right into the sockets underneath my table, and it can reach to get round here, to get round. So I'm busy organising my desk. I'm going to have my Bernina there, my other sewing machine there, and my overlocker here, so I've got room to work. And the nice thing about this desk I've got is when I'm working, I can push them back, and I've got the bench at the front, my desk at the front. It's actually it's at our office desk, which curves round, and it gives me lots of room to work on. So I was saying, I'm digressing too much. Patricia sent me a message, another email, telling me that her son was on the mend. I think I've told you that already. And she said she'd made a top. And she wasn't sure she'd done a good job. I thought she had. And I said, if you want me to, I'll show everybody what you've made. So this is the pattern that Patricia made. The Butterick B6801, it's an old one, I think, but a lovely one. And she says, I don't know where you live, Patricia, but you keep telling me about snow. You're getting snow. So I'm assuming you're round about North America somewhere. Kind of near the borders of Canada, I mean. She said, I decided I would try this blouse pattern. Not sure why I picked one that might be a little tough, since I haven't made something like this for probably 40 years. But I liked it, so I gave it a try. The fabric is rayon, the first time I've ever used rayon. And oh my word, it just slid all over the place, and I think there's uneven places and whatever. But I will wear it, and I'm glad I tried it, and I learned a lot along the way. And finally, what do I want to do finally? It's my granddaughter's birthday coming up May the 11th, and she's been ringing me on her way home from school for the past few days. And I said, oh, what do you want for your birthday? And she mentioned that she'd like a baguette bag. Now, I've never heard of a baguette bag, so I immediately looked it up and I went, flipping heck, £1,500, Chanel. And she says, no, Grandma, I don't want one of those. She says, just a cheap one. Here's the man with the plan.
Hello. The reason I'm here is because my daughter has just had her eyebrows laminated.
Laminated?
Now, to me, lamination is putting a piece of paper between two pieces of plastic and heat pressing it. Right? So when she told me she'd had her eyebrows laminated, I went into shock. They're quite nice.
He has to say that because, well, no. Yes, they're lovely.
I don't have to say that.
I'll miss that bit out. No comment.
The thing is, I've seen some, and apologies to anybody out there who's got these, by the way, but I've seen some right eyebrows on young ladies, like they were, I don't know, like somebody like chopped out a black arc.
Well, they do, because they put stencils on and they paint into the stencil.
Yeah, like that. And the singer in my old band,
she used to do that,
which was called Yes Miss. The new band's called Near Miss because we've changed singers. But the old singer had her eyebrows tattooed in.
Yeah,
have you ever seen anything?
That's because they plucked so much out that there's nothing there now, so they've got to tattoo them back in.
Oh, well, that was.
We're getting old.
That was no, but she also had all her other body parts tattooed. She even had a cupcake tattooed on her arm. A cupcake. Words fail me.
We are non-tattoo people.
Yeah. I said
the thing is, you see, I don't know if you lot might be different, but my memory of tattoos was the bus driver who used to take me to school on a morning, and he always had the anchor on his thing, and he used to have self-tattoos saying love and hate on here, and a couple of them in town used to have a big thing with a line saying cut here.
So, no, I accept that, because bear in mind that some of these ladies might have
they might all have tattoos on,
but
yeah.
There is, I understand that for a lot of people, tattoos are an art form and they find them, you know, enhancing, and that's good luck to them. Let them get on with it. Faye, our singer, I said, she showed me a cupcake, I can't even say a cupcake tattoo when she got it done, and I said, oh, that's nice. What do they taste like? And
not funny.
And it was a cupcake. It was a good joke, I thought. Anyway, so you know, I've got one somewhere else, but I can't really show anybody it. And I said, what is it? And she said it's some sort of dragon or something like that. And I said, where is it? She said, it's on my belly.
Oh, God.
And I saw it. It's very nice.
This lady, however, we'll have to say, she's actually an ex-teacher. She's got quite a few qualifications, and she came out teaching in order to foster. And she fosters how many children?
5.
5 children. And she loves every minute of it. I think. She's still a friend. I love her to bits. I would like to adopt her, but I don't think her parents would let me. But she's a lovely person. So which absolutely wipes out any arguments about tattoos, because you know, I think they're don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I think they're all right. I wouldn't have one personally, mainly because I don't like pain. But
oh, which reminds me, how's your arm?
It's painful. It's sore. Second jab, still sore. don't feel too bad, you know. Yesterday I had a headache and a bit of, you know, but today it's just arm ache, and sometimes it creeps up your neck a bit, but it's not as bad as it was, so I'm not complaining.
Good.
I'm immune now, apparently. Well, I'll rephrase that. I'm 65 to 90% immune. If I'm in the top 10%, I've got no chance. So there you go. I'll
Anyway.
go now. Bye bye.
Bye.